the second. 2 years removed from losing 100, the Rangers have won the pennant.
The Texas Rangers are headed back to the World Series for the first time in more than a decade.
Game 7 of the ALCS was a drubbing. Now the team will turn its focus toward winning its first ever World Series championship.
Here for you, Fox 4 News starts now.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. Pretty exciting night around here. Glad you got to watch it. The Rangers scored first and then kept scoring. Corey Seager with a home run on the 4th pitch of the game. That is blasted. Upper deck. Boom. It only got worse for Houston. Fox 4's Jeff Kolb starts our team coverage of the Game 7 blowout that sends the Rangers to the World Series. Jeff.
Guys, these Texas Rangers are writing one of the greatest baseball stories we've seen in some time. It bears repeating. This franchise came into the year on the heels of 6 straight losing seasons, had only won 4 playoff series in their 51-year history, and tonight they knock out the defending World Series champs, their rivals, the Houston Astros, in a pivotal Game 7. Our Mike Ducey joins me live from Minute Maid Park now. Mike, we talked pregame. You didn't know what to expect heading into this one. To knock out your rival like that in this situation has to be one of the sweetest wins for Dallas sports fans in recent memory.
Yeah, exactly, Jeff. I think it might be the most satisfying win in Texas Rangers history for their fan base. They beat the Yankees in the ALCS to get them to the World Series for the first time. But this one, with this rivalry and the intensity and the way it built even during the course of this series, and to win it here at Minute Maid, again, incredibly satisfying for the Ranger players, obviously manager Bruce Bochy, the GM Chris Young, and so many Ranger fans who still stuck around in this ballpark. There were more Ranger fans here for Game 7 than there had been in the previous games, and they were enjoying every bit of the post-game ceremonies that just wrapped up. We talked in the pregame, you know, I thought Max Scherzer was going to have a really solid outing for the Rangers to have a chance in this game. I could not have been more wrong because he didn't last long. Scherzer was only around 2 2/3 innings, gave up a couple of runs. Jordan Montgomery came in and relieved him well. As it turns out, it was the offense that did everything for Texas tonight. An offense that for most of the year in baseball had been the best in the major leagues, and that offense was back this evening. Seager, as you saw, got things started with that home run, but Adolis Garcia was the story, the American League Championship Series MVP, with a series record 15 runs driven in and a couple of more home runs tonight, and a revenge story unlike many you will ever see in sports or anywhere else, as Garcia gets the last laugh and then some against the Astros. An 11-4 pounding. Rangers on to the World Series for the first time since 2011. And it opens in Arlington coming up this weekend. Jeff?
It's going to be something. Adolis Garcia, what a story. Corey Seager called him a bad man after taking in all the boos and doing what he did in that ballpark. Mike, much more to get to with Garcia. The other storylines from this one. With this win, the Rangers 8-0 on the road in these playoffs. The only other team to ever accomplish that, the '96 Yankees, who knocked out the Rangers on their way to winning the whole thing. Let's take a look back at how the Rangers got things done here tonight. Last Wednesday, Christian Javier took a no-hitter against the Rangers into the 5th inning. He had only given up 4 hits in 10 innings this postseason, but would give up 4 hits to the Rangers in the 1st inning alone. The first one, the no-doubter from Corey Seager to make it 1-0. After Evan Carter walks and then steals second, he comes home on the Adolis wall ball single to make it 2-0. Not ideal hustle out of the box from Adolis, but he would then steal second and then score on Mitch Garver's single. And it's 3-zip Rangers just like that. And Javier is done. After 23 pitches, Dusty Baker gets him. He only got 1 out. Max Scherzer took the loss in Game 3 last Wednesday, but said he felt good. First inning here, gives up the RBI single to Jose Abreu, but would then strand 2 Astros to get out of the jam. Top third, Hunter Brown in to pitch for Houston. Garcia the other way. Homers for the 4th game in a row, and it's 4-1. Rangers in control. Bottom 3, Scherzer makes a mistake. Alex Bregman makes him pay, but just a solo shot. and it's a 4-2 ball game. Scherzer, done after getting just 8 outs on 44 pitches. Top 4, bases loaded for Carter, puts one just down the right field line in fair territory. 2 more Rangers come in. It's 6-2 Texas. Next batter, Garcia through the left side this time. Seager, Carter, they're burning their ways home. It's 8-2. Garcia, the first player in playoff history with 20 RBIs before the World Series. Top 6, the not yet suspended Brian Abreu serving up the 2-run homer to Nathaniel Lowe. It's 10-2. And then top 8. Why not? Adolis. He went 4 for 5 in the game, finishes the series with the 5 homers, 10 hits, the 15 ribbies, as Mike mentioned. Garcia, the obvious MVP choice, as the Rangers scored 20 runs in 24 hours to knock out the Astros 11-4 and make it back to the World Series.
I want to say thank God, thank to my family, all the fans. This team right here, we are a family, and they push me every day to play hard. And that's why I just made adjustment today, just try to don't do too much. And if it's not for the love of all my teammates, man, this can be possible.
Boats, you're going back to the World Series, baby.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I tell you what, I couldn't be more honored to manage such a great team like this. I mean, you know, for CY to call me last November, I didn't know if I'd get back in or not, and here I am. I know how blessed I am, but I can't thank these guys enough. Ray Davis with his commitment, CY from the get-go had his vision, and here we are.
Bosch, you were talking about it. You know, the last regular season series, a lot of teams, it could have hurt them and it could have gone the other way. It galvanized this team, that trip to Seattle. How did you do it? How did you come back from that to get and win a pennant?
Well, they've done it all year. We've had our streaks. We've had our injuries. They keep getting up. And, you know, to come in here and beat such a great club like Houston, and congrats on their year, but it's great to be wearing the horns in Texas.
I can't explain how proud I am of this group, our coaching staff, our entire organization. We've had some hard times recently. Those are over. These players have deserved this. They've brought us to where we are now. Boats, you came out of retirement for this. I love you all. We're going to keep going.
All right, some reaction there. Mike back with me now. So, Deuce, you touched on it off the top. This was all the offense, right? You know, over the first 5 games in this series, the Rangers, they scored 19 total runs. They then turn around and score 20 runs in these last 2 must-win games. Tonight's offensive explosion, just ridiculous. We've said this all along. This offense good enough to take the Rangers all the way, right?
And that's what we thought for most of the year, because for most of the year, the Rangers led Major League Baseball in runs scored. I think they ended up finishing 3rd of the regular season. But then at times, this offense went really quiet here in the postseason, and we talked repeatedly about the trouble at the top of the order with Semien and Seager. Seager snapped out of it a bit tonight, but as good as Garcia was, again, for a lot of the year, 2nd in the league in RBIs in the regular season, nobody saw this kind of American League Championship series coming from Adolis Garcia, but he delivered, and delivered in a big way. And when they could get homers like they did last night from Garver and Heim, and, you know, tonight maybe signs that Nathaniel Lowe is finding a little something at the plate as well. For a good part of the year, we talked about how from top to bottom this lineup could hurt you from 1 through 9 for the Rangers. If they get it back into that kind of territory, they could really be tough here in the next series.
Yeah, when you have guys like
the World
Lowe
Series, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, when it counts the most. Yeah, when you have guys like Lowe and Tavares and others contributing down in that lineup, this team's almost unbeatable. You think about the big 3 in the lineup, Mike: Corey Seager, Marcus Semien. They are worth a cool $500 million between them. Back in March, Adolis Garcia, he signed a 1-year contract extension for a whopping $747,000. That has to be the best bargain in all of baseball. He was an all-star this year, 39 homers, 107 RBIs in the regular season. And really, Mike, he's become the face of this incredible playoff run.
Garcia starts the 3rd.
And they said it on the telecast that unless you're an Astros fan, it's hard to watch Adolis Garcia and not kind of be inspired by looking at the joy with which he plays the game of baseball. I mean, you know, he's just a really impressive looking athlete, number one, but he enjoys every minute of it out there. And you know, the Astros thought he enjoyed that initial home run a little bit too much, and they plunked him later on in the game, and a lot of stuff came out of that. But again, Garcia has really become, you know, a superstar, a nationwide superstar now over the last couple of days, just because of, you know, the scuffle that happened. But now, you know, what he's been able to do at the plate with this incredible run production, it's really been something to watch. And Ranger fans aren't that surprised because, as I said, all year long, he's been driving in runs for this team.
What an amazing player, and not just with the bat. I mean, he's been a tremendous fielding outfielder, all the outfield assists as well. He's due for a bigger contract after this fall. His skipper, Bruce Bochy, Mike, now the first manager ever to lead 3 different teams to the World Series. He brought the Padres there in '98, lost, brought the Giants there in 2010, of course, won his first ring over this Rangers franchise in 5 games, went on to win 2 more titles with San Francisco. This isn't the first time Bochy's broken Dusty Baker's heart in the playoffs either, and boy, has Boch just pushed so many right buttons in this whole run.
I remember talking to Bruce Bochy the day he was introduced as manager of the Rangers out at the ballpark, and obviously I was very familiar with his work. His Giants beat the Rangers in the 2010 World Series in 5 games, but you're just struck by Bochy's presence when you talk to him, and just he's the kind of guy that players, you know, want to play for and want to go to battle for, so to speak, because he treats them like grown-ups. He treats them like men. He allows them to do their jobs. He doesn't interfere. He's not a manager who spends any time in the clubhouse. That's the players' area. You'll find Bochy in his office if you need to talk to him. But yeah, in terms of strategy, there's always going to be room to criticize a manager, and there were times late in the year as this division lead dwindled and the Rangers eventually lost the division on the last day that the Twitterverse went after Bochy pretty good. But yeah, here in the postseason and in this league championship series, ultimately, you know, the way he's handled the bullpen, just the way it's worked out with little tweaks to the lineup, the way he's gotten this kid Evan Carter in the right place at the right time, it's hard to argue with where we find this ball club and with the work that Bruce Bochy has done to get it here. And not only did it become managing the tenuous bullpen in this run, but then Max Scherzer and this incredible comeback. I think we could both agree, like you said, you know, we expected Scherzer would need to go deeper into this game. I'm sure he wanted to go deeper into this game, but he didn't really fight Bochy when Bruce came to get the ball in the 3rd inning. You know, even though Max only winds up getting 8 outs, he did do a whole lot more than Christian Javier, of course, for the Astros. And most importantly, I think for Scherzer, he's still healthy, hasn't re-injured himself, multiple injuries that he's dealt with all year. I think, Mike, he can be very dangerous as a wild card going forward for the Rangers in this World Series. If Max Scherzer can be the Max Scherzer that will go into the Hall of Fame someday, the Rangers have a great shot against either the Phillies or the Diamondbacks. Yeah, it's just, I can't really get a read on him right now, though, Jeff, to be honest, and I'm not sure many people can. I was surprised that Bochy pulled him from the game as early as he did, and I expected there to be maybe some sort of physical issue, but as you said, that doesn't appear to be the case. Scherzer's just, you know, hasn't been back that long from the injury that kept him out for weeks and weeks and weeks, so I guess maybe we should expect this. I tweeted something that was sort of misconstrued by some when Montgomery replaced Scherzer, said something to the effect, this isn't the trade deadline acquisition that the Rangers had planned to help save the season. Wasn't really a knock on Scherzer. This is a guy who's tried to pitch a couple of times now since coming back from the injury. I was just noting that Montgomery, ironically, happened to be the trade deadline acquisition who has been more effective and has really sometimes carried this team on his back or his left arm, if you would, and he gave him some valuable innings tonight as well in relief.
Yeah, to think what Montgomery, Evaldi, and Scherzer still giving something have been able to do for this rotation that lost DeGrom, who was supposed to be your guy in this moment so early in the season after signing the big offseason contract. Just incredible how this team has, as Corey Seager said in the postgame, just been so resilient to get to this point, get through the defending world champs. Much more with Mike coming up here on our post-game coverage. We switch gears now to the watch party at Globe Life Field in Arlington, where the people went wild when the Rangers recorded the final out to send them back to the World Series for the 3rd time. Fox 4's Amelia Jones joins us live from outside the ballpark. And Amelia, last Friday night, we remember lots of sadness was flowing out of Globe Life after the Rangers fell down 3-2 to Houston in the series. What have you been seeing there outside the ballpark tonight so far?
Jeff, it is a completely different type of energy. People are still celebrating. We're inside Globe Life Field where fans are still hanging out. Some of them getting that brand new gear that just became available. We've got some fans saying, "Let's go Rangers," of course. And I want to point out that this was the largest watch party here inside Globe Life Field. Over 2,000 people bought a ticket, and with every single score, their cheers and chants got louder, and they loved every single minute of this game, especially when it became official that the Rangers are headed to the World Series. Right out of the gate, a home run from Corey Seager, and that just set the momentum for this game. And by the fourth inning, the Rangers had a solid lead over the Astros, and just run after run, the crowd here at Globe Life Field got louder. And these fans, they never lost hope that the Rangers would win and bring the pennant back to Arlington.
Oh, it's great. It's wonderful. We went to a couple of the games in 2010, 2011. Didn't turn out well, but one of the games.
This is gonna be.
What was that?
Different.
They're gonna win this time.
Yeah.
And why do you think that? Why are you so confident in this team?
Because they have worked so hard, and they've struggled, and they're determined.
I'm excited. I've been coming with my grandpa right there since a kid, and now we're back here. I'm back with them.
Oh my gosh, I couldn't stand still. But all I do is like, oh my gosh, we need this, we got it. So we're going to the World Series, baby! Woo! In your face, Astros!
I think that last soundbite really said it all. That is how every Rangers fan is feeling. I saw in Houston that fans started to leave early. I want you to know that every Rangers fan here tonight stood up in their seat until that final out. They were not going to miss this. They wanted to make sure that they experienced it all up until that very last second. And we'll see who the Rangers are going to face in the World Series. But after talking with fans, whoever it is, fans believe that this is the team that is ready to take on any challenge. Jeff, back to you.
In your face, Houston. That's the line. Amelia Jones. Great reporting from inside Globe Life Field. Let's hear from some more Rangers players now. Nathaniel Lowe, Josh Spores after the Game 7 victory.
The record speaks for itself this year. You know, we got a great group together. We won the American League, so there's not a whole lot else to say about that. You know, this group fought all the way to the end. From the beginning of spring training, we believed we could do this thing, and now here we are with a chance to compete for a World Series title. We had a tough test there at the end of the regular season. You know, the division didn't go the way we wanted to, but the league did, and we got our eyes set on bigger things.
Felt great, you know, this game 7 is everything on the line, and, you know, it's good to do it here.
Can you describe kind of how you guys have come together over this past month?
Just being calm the whole time, you know, I don't think we ever felt pressured. We always knew we had a good offense, good defense, good starters, and the bullpen showed up.
Do you feel like you guys were able to come together more as a group because of the adversity that you faced?
Yeah, I think the pressure brought us closer, and I think it made us more comfortable in the situations that we were in.
All right, so Amelia touched on it. Now the Rangers are waiting to see who from the National League they will face. The NLCS going to a Game 7 tomorrow between Arizona and Philadelphia. Texas, either way, has home field advantage. Game 1, Friday night at Globe Life Field. Fox 4 will, of course, get you ready for the series all week long. We have much more Rangers post-game coverage to come here tonight on Fox 4. Our Sam Gannon is in the clubhouse for a champagne party. We'll get her interviews, plus more post-game pressers, and a lot more to break down from this massive Game 7 win for the Rangers, headed back to the World Series for the third time ever.
We've grown so close together over the past couple of weeks, and this has just been an unbelievable journey for all of us, and I know we're so excited, so you know, we're just going to keep it rolling. I'm so thankful for everybody making me feel this way. This is definitely something to be thankful for.
Okay, so that kid, Evan Carter's living the dream. He's just turned 21.
Oh, my gosh.
2 months ago, he was in AA. Got just about like 2 weeks in AAA, and bang, he is going to the World Series.
So exciting
it's so
for him.
Crazy.
Right?
He is living the dream.
Oh my gosh, well, Jeff Kolb, also living the dream, following the team, joining us now again with more reaction from Houston. Jeff.
Yeah, Evan Carter has been great. All these Rangers have been great, especially tonight in the 11-4 win that sends Texas back to the World Series. It also makes Bruce Bochy the first manager ever to lead 3 different franchises to the World Series. Not only that, he has now won 14 of the last 15 playoff series that he's been involved with. And Bochy would not be here if not for first-year general manager Chris Young, who fatefully made the trip to Nashville last fall after the Rangers made wholesale changes in August and convinced Bochy to come out of retirement after 3 seasons and return to the clubhouse. It was October 21st last year that Bochy was hired. 367 days later, he made this speech inside the clubhouse after the Rangers returned to the World Series.
First of all, I'm going to tell you what an honor and privilege it is to manage such an incredible team with so much heart and determination. Came in here against all odds. You went to Tampa. You went to Baltimore. I can't say I've ever seen a club that played with more heart. So thanks, and I'm going to add this. Congrats on wearing the horns in Texas and going to the World Series.
We've worked so hard for this moment, and these players deserve this. Our staff deserves it. Our fans deserve it. And yes, I'm enjoying every second of it.
What can you say about the vision that you had, and to see it come to fruition with all the work you guys?
Well, it's a collective vision, and this started with a vision from ownership. It started with John Daniels before me and our front office seeing it through. And I happened to come in at the right time and aid this along. But again, the credit goes to the players and the coaching staff. Bruce Bochy, I can't say enough about how fun he's been to work with. And when you got Bochy in the dugout, it's no surprise to me that this is where we are.
What a storybook for Chris Young. Grew up in Highland Park, played for Bruce Bochy as a pitcher in the big league with the Padres, and now they're teamed up getting the Rangers back to the World Series. That was our Sam Gannon talking with CY. She was in the clubhouse, part of the party, and caught up with a couple of young Rangers, Jonah Heim, Josh Young, who both had huge home runs in this ALCS.
There's no words to describe how good this feels. Nobody gave us a shot at the beginning of the year, and I think we proved everybody wrong, and we're going to the World Series.
What can you say about the roller coaster ride of this ALCS? After that Game 5, you guys let that go, got refocused for Game 6. What about the resilience of this team?
Yeah, no matter the odds, we weren't out until we were officially out. So we knew we played good baseball here. We showed we came in 1-2 in the beginning and 1-2 here. So the burn never felt so good.
And now you guys have a chance for your first World Series title in franchise history. Are you ready?
Oh, we're so ready. We're going to enjoy this one, but we're going to go home and get back to work.
Josh, what does it mean for you to be a part of this with this group right here and all that you guys have battled throughout the season?
I mean, it's just crazy. It's hard to sum it up. Like you said, the ups and downs, the resiliency we've had to battle through and come through all year. I'm just so proud of these guys and so happy to be a part of this club.
Covering you guys in this series has been a whirlwind, so I can only imagine what it feels like for you as a player. Can you sum up what the series was like with the Astros?
Oh, roller coaster. It was a roller coaster of emotions. That's what you play for. And coming back to Houston down 3-2 after losing 3 at home, it was an uphill battle, and we did it. And it's just crazy. It kind of sums up our season, but we got 4 more.
Would you have envisioned this happening so quickly that now you guys have a chance to win the first World Series title that this franchise has ever had?
Yeah, it happened pretty quick, didn't it? But I mean, it starts with the front office and then going out and getting the guys and showing that commitment to winning, and then the coaching staff, and then the players coming together and doing what we do. It's been awesome.
What's your message to the Rangers fans who just have been starving for a long postseason run? They're right there with you, and they're just as excited. What's your message to the fans?
We're not done yet. Let's go get 4 more.
Evan Carter has been tremendous, but you can't sleep on Josh Young either. He was well on his way to a potential Rookie of the Year honor before getting hurt in the second half of the season. This is the 174th game that the Rangers have played this year, and it is one that Texas fans will never forget. Our post-game coverage not done. Sam will be back with more interviews. Mike will be back. We will break down this tremendous win coming up here on Fox 4 News. Guys.
Awesome. Thank you, Jeff.
Here for you. Fox 4 News starts now.
Well, the Texas Rangers are celebrating in Houston tonight. The team headed back to the World Series and has its first ever championship in sights. Hello again. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. The Texas Rangers won Game 7 of the ALCS. You saw it on Fox 4. There was really not much drama to the game. Jeff Kolb kicks off our coverage tonight of the pennant-clinching victory. Jeff.
Hey guys, the Rangers slogan here in 2023 has been go and take it, and boy did they. And with Creed as the soundtrack, they are now taking Rangers Baseball Nation higher. Somebody had to say it. Come on now. They're headed to the World Series, and you know, back on October 1st, this moment felt like a pipe dream. The Rangers had just lost in Seattle, giving up the division title to the Astros, but man, this team never did quit. And with that, let's bring in our Mike Ducey and Sam Gannon live at Minute Maid Park in Houston. And guys, you know, back when the Rangers gave up the division on the final weekend of the regular season, not only did they let it slip away, but they were criticized by Houston writers and fans for the big celebration after clinching the wild card spot the night before. They're still partying though, and Sam, you experienced that firsthand.
Yeah, Jeff, I didn't get to refresh on my makeup. I tried to race back up here, but there were fountains on fountains of beer just flowing absolutely everywhere. I'm going to have to get rid of these sandals now. But I think one of the validating parts for the Texas Rangers is to see where this franchise was 2 years ago, losing 102 games in 2021. Last year, they lost 94. And to see the turnaround, I think there's no greater feeling, especially when you're covering a team, to see a team go from the bottom to now the top. And there was a sense of relief in the clubhouse there, just pure joy and celebration, especially when you look at the mix of veterans who've come from different teams. You know, Marcus Semien talking about the validation of beating the Astros. And then you have the rookies and Evan Carter and Josh Young, who just looked like two kids at a candy store.
You smell like you've been in the celebratory locker room.
Funny thing is, I hate beer. I don't drink it anyway.
Beers. You might be allergic.
I think I might be. I keep sneezing. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah, there's nothing like a celebratory locker room, and we're going to see some of that stuff in a moment. Let's run through some quick highlights here from a Game 7 that really was pretty one-sided when you look at it. The Rangers seizing control early of this game. Corey Seager taking Christian Javier's fourth pitch of the game into the second deck. Texas would score 3 runs in the first. Houston had cut the deficit to 4-2 in the fourth, but Texas responds with 4 more runs. 2-run single from Adolis Garcia. What a game for him. What a series. He would put a bow on things in the 8th with his second home run of the game. Garcia driving in 15 runs in this American League Championship Series, a record for any Major League playoff series. Rangers win 11-4 under skipper Bruce Bochy.
First of all, I'm going to tell you what an honor and privilege it is to manage such an incredible team with so much heart and determination. Came in here against all odds. You went to Tampa, you went to Baltimore. I can't say I've ever seen a club that played with more heart. So thanks, and I'm going to add this. Congrats on wearing the horns in Texas and going to the World Series.
We've talked so much about Bruce Bochy, and this is the reason why. You know, this is the kind of difference he made this year. Obviously, Chris Young went out and got the players, Ray Davis, the owner, and the ownership group. And it struck me on that postgame show on Fox that a lot of people had never heard one of the owners of the Texas Rangers speak before. Imagine that in this town, right?
Right.
In Dallas with
of
the
all places.
Other owners. But this ownership group has their team playing for a championship now. The World Series starting Friday in Arlington. You were in the clubhouse. Give us kind of a sense as to what it was like in there.
I mean, it was craziness. That was my first time ever partaking in such an event. And, you know, they were seeing Creed. Jeff, you know, made reference to it right before he tossed to us. And, you know, they're just loving life right now, Mike. I know you can't say it enough when you talk about the journey, the end of the regular season, to missing out on the AL West, to the Houston Astros, then having to go on the road crowd. The fact that they won 8 straight in this postseason is remarkable. And when you talk to some of the guys, they didn't really understand it either. But hey, they're like, hey, I guess we just like having our backs up against the wall, and we tend to perform our best in that situation. And I think for Bruce Bochy, you can just tell there's just this overwhelmingly amount of respect that they have for him and what he's been able to do and how he commands everyone in there.
Here's what some of the guys had to say with Sam in the clubhouse.
Evan, just being a rookie here and stepping into this situation when you did, making your major league debut in September, what has this ride been like for you?
This is unbelievable. This is a lot of fun. This is everything you dream about. This is a great group of guys to do it be a part of. You know, we're going to keep it going.
Could you envision this, that this is what you were going to be now, have a chance to win your first World Series for the franchise here?
Oh my gosh, I mean, this is a dream and the goal of every ball player, man, just to, you know, be a part of a team that gets to go to the World Series. So, you know, we're right there. We got to finish the job.
What have you made of what Adolis Garcia was able to do for you guys this postseason?
Gosh, he's on a different planet right now. It's unbelievable to watch him hit. You know, I've got all the confidence in the world in him, and I know everybody else does too, so it's an awesome thing to watch.
You're a rookie, but you don't play like one. What's enabled you to have such composure throughout this all?
Thank you. It's just a great group of guys, a lot of people around me encouraging me and making me feel welcome, so I'm really thankful for that.
Ready for this World Series?
So ready. This is going to be awesome.
John, just what does this mean for you to be a part of this with this team and all that you've been through?
I mean, it just goes to show that, like, what the Rangers believed in when I came here, like, yeah, we're doing it right now. So it's really cool to be a part of it. And, man, it just feels like a dream, you know. It feels like a dream you don't want to wake up from. It's good to know it's reality. It's awesome.
I mean, 8 wins on the road, all in the postseason. Yeah. Did you guys think that you had that in you?
I don't know. Maybe we just make good villains. I'm not sure. But, you know, I mean, we're doing it. And it's good to see the way the guys have played, the way we've answered back to some of this stuff. I mean, it's been great. And ready to see how far we're going to take it.
Everybody works extremely hard. We all get along. Of course, there's going to be ups and downs, but everybody's so resilient, and we all love the game.
Is it some validation to do it against the Astros?
Of course. It's a team I've been battling against for years. You know, being in this division, they've been a dynasty for a long time. So for us to put up 20 runs in 2 games in this building, it was huge for us.
We talked to a bunch of other guys in the clubhouse too, like Jonah Heim, Nathan Eovaldi, and you could just get the sense that some of them even said there were so many people who didn't think that they were going to be here. And to take the Astros, the reigning champs, to 7 games and beat them at their place says everything you need to know. They made a statement, so why not them, you know?
It is hard to imagine there ever being a more satisfying win in the history of the Texas Rangers franchise for their fan base, given the nature of this rivalry, the fact that this series was just so incredibly wild. There was such heartbreak just 2 games ago for the Rangers. They come back here and win 2 and win the pennant. Jeff, take us through the highlights and let's recall what happened here on a pretty special night for the Texas Rangers.
Yeah, and just to mention, you know, Sam, you touched on the road success. The Rangers were 40-41 on the road in the regular season. They are now 8-0, as you mentioned, in these playoffs. The only other team to ever accomplish that, the '96 Yankees, who knocked off the Rangers on their way to winning the whole thing. Let's take a look back at how this one went. Christian Javier had a no-hitter into the 5th inning last time against the Rangers. Only had given up 4 hits in 10 innings this whole postseason, but gives up 4 hits in the 1st inning alone. The first hit, a no-doubt homer by Corey Seager. After Evan Carter would walk and steal, he comes home on this Adolis Garcia wall ball single. It's 2-0. Not ideal hustle out of the box from Garcia, but he would steal second and then score on Mitch Garver's single. That just gets in to make it 3-0 Rangers. Javier out of there after just 23 pitches, getting just 1 out. On the other side, Max Scherzer took the loss in Game 3, but said he felt good. First inning gives up the RBI single here to Jose Abreu, but Max would strand 2 Astros to get out of the threat. Top third, Hunter Brown pitching. Garcia homering again. 4th game in a row. And it's 4-1. Bottom third, Scherzer making a mistake here. Another home run, this one belonging to Alex Bregman. Fortunately, just a solo shot. It's 4-2. Scherzer done after getting just 8 outs on 44 pitches, not what he expected. Top 4, bases loaded for Carter. The 21-year-old puts the double just fair down the right field line and makes it 6-2 Texas. The next batter, Adolis, who did not get out very much tonight, brings in Seager and Carter, and it's 8-2. Garcia, the first player in playoff history with 20 RBIs before the World Series starts. Top 6, the not yet suspended Brian Abreu gets taken deep for a 2-run shot from Nathaniel Lowe. It's 10-2, and Garcia was like, we're not done there. In the 8th, he puts another one out to left. He was 4 for 5 in the game, finishes the series with 5 homers, 10 hits, the 15 ribbies, as Mike mentioned. Garcia, the obvious MVP choice. And the Rangers, they put up 20 runs in 24 hours in beating the Astros here 11-4 to make the World Series.
I want to say thank God, thank to my family, all the fans. This team right here, we are a family, and they push me every day to play hard. And that's why I just made just adjustment today, just try to don't do too much. And if it's not for the love of all my teammates, man, this can be possible.
Boats, you're going back to the World Series, baby.
Unbelievable, unbelievable. I tell you what, I couldn't be more honored to manage such a great team like this. I mean, you know, for CY to call me last November, I didn't know if I'd get back in or not, and here I am. I know how blessed I am, but I can't thank these guys enough. Ray Davis with his commitment. CY from the get-go had his vision. Here we are.
Boach, you were talking about it. You know, the last regular season series, a lot of teams, it could have hurt them and it could have gone the other way. It galvanized this team, that trip to Seattle. How did you do it? How did you come back from that to get and win a pennant?
Well, they've done it all year. We've had our streaks. We've had our injuries. They keep getting up. And, you know, to come in here and beat such a great club like Houston, and congrats on their year, but it's great to be wearing the horns in Texas.
I can't explain how proud I am of this group, our coaching staff, our entire organization. We've had some hard times recently. Those are over. These players have deserved this. They've brought us to where we are now. Boach, you came out of retirement for this. I love you all. We're going to keep going.
There it is. So, guys, the Rangers' 3rd World Series appearance coming right up on Friday. We're going to look now back at some footage from Game 6 in 2011. Of course, Mike, you'll remember a crushing Texas loss. We will spare you the Nelson Cruz play. But big picture for Dallas sports fans, this is the first time that the Rangers have been back since 2011, and there has not been a team to win in the Big Four since 2011. Of course, the Stars, you covered their win in the Cup, Mike, their first ever title. Dirk leading the Mavs to their first championship. With those moments as a backdrop, what would it mean if the Rangers team here could break through for the franchise's first title?
You know, it strikes me, Jeff, that if I were going to predict a year ago at this time which of the Big Four would be the first to get to a championship series, the Rangers probably would have been the last, right? Cowboys, you know, I should know better, but, you know, we thought they'd be good. Maybe they still would be. Stars had a great year, you know, last year. Mavs, you know, with Luka seemed to be on the verge. Rangers came out of nowhere and had this kind of year. It was an incredible turnaround.
I mean, we've had this discussion, guys, on our show many times in the last couple of years. Like, what's going to be who's going to be the next team to win a title? And the Rangers, as you mentioned, were never at the top.
Yeah.
And again, to see this turnaround, it's just proof that with the right people in the front office, you know, with the right combination of leadership, talent, you need a little bit of luck to go your way, but I just think perseverance too, and following the vision. I mean, you're seeing it to come to fruition right now with this Texas Rangers team.
And it would clearly mean everything for the Ranger fan base, and this franchise has been around for 52 years, and it's gotten close to a championship but has never won it. So a breakthrough in an unexpected way like this would be something else for this team and this fan base.
The offense, as we have touched on, was just huge tonight, coming through to get the Rangers to this World Series appearance. And they forced the Astros to use 8 different pitchers in this game. You don't see that very often. For the series, Texas winds up outscoring Houston 39-33, even though Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, they combined for just 3 RBIs, guys, against Houston in the 7 games. Sam, what did you make of how this offense caught fire just in time to win these back-to-back elimination games?
I mean, I thought, Jeff, that it was just bound to happen because when you have a guy like Corey Seager and Marcus Semien, and Marcus Semien said it in the clubhouse, he's like, I didn't have my best stuff this series. I just didn't. But the fact that Corey Seager broke through to kind of silence this crowd, and again, you know, yesterday there weren't that many Rangers fans here, but you could really tell it was a significant difference when he hit that solo shot. So again, this is the offense that we've seen predominantly through the regular season. We know, that they have a bunch of guys who can hit, you know what I mean? So the fact that these last 2 games, the Rangers put up 20 runs in 2 games here in this ballpark, it's something else, and it all has to do with peaking at the right time, and it's almost as if a switch has flipped, Mike.
Yeah, and they talked on the telecast about a different approach that they've been using at the plate because it's popping it up too much. And Jeff, you know more about this stuff than I do, but the top hand being more dominant and I think leveling out the swing, and they showed pretty good illustration on replay of that working. I know it's easier said than done, and it's a very complicated process, but as Sam said, some sort of switch flipped. But I think it's maybe appropriate that the Rangers win a Game 7 in this way because their trademark had been as bashers for most of the year, and boy, they were sure that tonight.
Yeah, I think it was telling even on the national broadcast during pregame, Ken Rosenthal and whatnot, they were talking about how loose this Rangers lineup, how loose the batters looked during batting practice. You talk about the big 3 in the lineup, Corey Seager, Marcus Semien, they're worth $500 million between them. But, in March, Adolis Garcia, he signed a 1-year contract extension for, check this, a whopping $747,000. I don't know who his agent is, but I think he needs a new one. What do you guys make of just how El Bombi has become the face of this playoff run?
Oh, it's happened in a hurry in terms of the nationwide, outlook or perspective, but people who watched the Rangers all year knew what kind of run producer he was. He drove in over 100 runs, was second, I think, in the American League in RBIs. But again, they talked on Fox tonight about the joy that Garcia shows when he plays the game, and that's really evident, and I think it's fun to watch, unless you're an Astros fan, because he's always going to be enemy number 1 for Astros Nation, and that makes the rivalry even more fun, to be honest. But man, you talk about getting revenge. I tweeted that I long for the type of revenge that Adolis Garcia is enjoying. So many things.
Okay.
I don't want to bore our viewers.
We'll get into that later, I guess, Jeff. But
he got it, and then some.
No, and 5 home runs in the last 4 games. He had 2 days. I mean, he's an emotional guy, right, as we all know, but he still was able to maintain his composure even when you go. I know he was frustrated in Game 6, but still, Bruce Bochy talked about that until he hit that grand slam yesterday, and I just love it how he's become this villain amongst Astro fans, because that's exactly how Rangers fans feel about Jose Altuve. So it's, I think, validating for Rangers fans, too, to finally see the Houston Astros fans suffering just a little bit tonight.
Guys, this story that the Rangers are writing, it just gets better and better, and there will be another chapter Friday back in Arlington, Game 1 of the World Series. How about that? Mike, Sam, great coverage. Safe travels back from Houston. So now the Rangers, they await the winner of the National League Championship Series between Arizona and Philadelphia. Texas, as I mentioned, will have home field advantage no matter who they face. Game 1, Friday night at Globe Life Field. Fox 4 will be getting you ready for the series, Mike, Sam, and I, all week long. Well, fans at the watch party at Globe Life Field tonight in Arlington went wild when the Rangers recorded that final out to clinch a World Series appearance. Our Fox 4's Amelia Jones joins us live from inside the park now. Amelia, like we said earlier, last Friday, it was just sadness from all the people coming out of that place after the Rangers had fallen down 3-2 in the series. A lot of smiles, a lot of cheers, a lot of happy moments tonight, right?
Oh, absolutely, Jeff. And so many of them. They have a brand new t-shirt, brand new sweatshirt, that ALCS champion on their shirt. That's what they're going to bed in tonight. And most of them, they are in bed. It's just me, Chase, and the cleaning crew here. But hey, we all got to get ready because there is going to be a Rangers World Series game here at Globe Life Field. And tonight, it was just a little preview There were more than 2,000 fans for this watch party. It was the largest one by far. They loved every single minute of it, but especially that last out when it was official that the Rangers are going to the World Series. Right out of the gate, a home run from Corey Seager. That just really set the momentum for the rest of the game. And by the fourth inning, the Rangers had a solid lead over the Astros. Every run, the cheers and chants got louder. These fans, they never lost hope the Rangers would win and bring the AL pennant back to Arlington.
What makes this team different?
The coach, the players, the pitching. It's awesome. It'll be my third World Series to work.
Fans have been deprived since that last World Series. So as fans, how do you feel?
Oh, elated. It's just wonderful. It's just so cool. It's beyond words. Finally.
You were watching that last out. What was going through your mind?
Oh my gosh, I couldn't stand still. But all I do is oh my gosh, we need this. We need this. We got it. So we're going to the World Series, baby. Woo! In your face, Astros!
That is the quote of the night by far. Rangers fans, they all walked out of Globe Life Field thinking that and saying it, regardless of who wins the, whether it's the Phillies or the Diamondbacks. Fans told me they are believing in this team and they know that the Rangers can take on whoever is coming up next in this challenge. Oh man, Jeff, I was gonna say we gotta rest up here. Cleaning crew is working on cleaning the stadium. I'm like, whew, what am I saying here? All the excitement. It's been fabulous, though. The fans have had such a fantastic time, especially tonight at this watch party. By far, the biggest smiles, best enthusiasm, loudest cheers, and we know it's gonna get even better come Friday. Back to you.
Most definitely. You can let those people lock up now, Amelia. You know, I don't know much about Diamondback fans, but we know a thing or two about Philly sports fans. So the Astro fan base, now that they've been checked off, Philly would be a fierce one for Rangers fans to contend with starting Friday if that's the matchup we get. The Rangers back in the World Series, third time ever, as we've said. The team already saying a limited number of individual tickets will go on sale at 10 a.m. That's coming up in less than 10 hours now. The tickets scattered singles and standing room only for games 1 and 2. And 6 and 7 if needed back in Arlington. They can be purchased on the Rangers website. We'll have plenty more coverage leading up to the World Series throughout the week. Stay with Fox 4 and Free for all of that. For now, for Mike Ducey, Sam Gannon, I'm Jeff Kolb, Fox 4 Sports.